All right. Good afternoon, everybody. It's currently 2:03 Eastern, so I'm going to go ahead and just get us started. So first off, thank you all so much for joining us today to talk about e-ticketing. My name is Gene, and I'm with the marketing team for TAC Insight. And with me today is BJ Lusk. He's our director of sales. So if you're a current customer or somebody that we've been in talks with to become a customer, you and BJ may already be acquainted. And for those of you who are not current customers and might be joining us just for the first time, we're just going to give a brief overview of our company and what we do, and then we'll jump right into e-ticketing and finding some good solutions for your company to help you comply with the current guidelines and business practices out there. So before we get started, let's just briefly go over the Zoom webinar tools that you can use while you're watching. So during the webinar, only the presenters are going to be speaking live, and everyone else's mics will be muted. But if you have a question, you don't have to wait until the Q&A session at the end. At the bottom of your webinar interface there, you should see a little Q&A button. And this is where you can ask your questions during the presentation. And then once we've wrapped up the webinar, we'll just kind of go through and answer your questions one by one. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in here. I'm going to start by just introducing our company and tell you just a little bit about what we do. So our main product is a cloud-based software platform called Fastway, which in a nutshell, it's an all-in-one business management platform for aggregates and bulk material sales and transportation. So chiefly we serve three target markets. That would be our aggregate producers, such as quarries and mines and asphalt producers, et cetera. We serve hauling companies that transport those materials. And then we also serve a variety of general contractors and other companies that need to track the movement and receiving of those bulk materials. Now, I'm pretty proud to say that Fastway is kind of a first of its kind software for our industry. Rather than following kind of that old legacy software model that we see with a lot of our competitors still, we actually take a software as a service approach with our development. And so this means that Fastway is built on the newest cloud technologies out there. And so our focus is very much on moving toward the future of software rather than just kind of maintaining the past. So this here is just a quick overview of some of the major components of the Fastway suite. So our goal with this system is to provide kind of a complete ticket management system for producers, haulers, and contractors. So at the very highest level, we have our centralized web portal. So this is really the heart of the platform. This is where all of your company's data lives in the Fastway cloud. And a couple of key features for the portal include a number of tools for managing orders and jobs and pricing, also billing and accounting integration, and the list really just goes on and on. The web portal has an extensive number of business management tools available to you. And then on the ticketing side, we've got both desktop and mobile ticketing applications, so you can really create tickets from anywhere. And these apps are available for either Windows 10 desktop PCs or on Android and iOS mobile devices. And a major advantage to these applications is that they can be downloaded and installed remotely. And then once you have the app, you can just pull in all of your ticketing data from the cloud. So the setup is really fast, really simple, and it doesn't require any super complicated IT setup or servers or expensive training or anything like that just to get going. And then we've got some great tools also for both dispatching and e-ticketing. And this includes our in-cab mobile app designed for your truckers and our field ticket approval and rejection system, which that's what we're going to be going over here momentarily. So that's just a really quick breakdown of what we do. And now we would like to talk with you all about how you can use these tools to kind of manage your operations e-ticketing and material delivery data. And then later on, you can seamlessly export that data for other business applications or straight into your accounting systems. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about e-ticketing. Now, with everything that's been kind of going on in the world recently, e-ticketing has become something of a hot topic. And our goal here is really to help your business find solutions to stay in compliance with the current best practices in our industry. And that being said, We also want to carry this past COVID-19. We want to help you develop an overall culture where your business can be as efficient and safe and effective as possible. Um, so let's go ahead and talk about this whole concept of e-ticketing and where Fastway kind of fits in this new world. So as we mentioned earlier, Fastway is all about digital information being available at all times from anywhere. Um, so really, we were built for e-ticketing from the beginning. In fact, several of the product capabilities that DOTs are now requiring were actually already built into the standard Fastway subscription from the get-go. But to respond directly to this situation, we're working with DOTs and companies that need to comply with specific regulations that can vary from state to state. So this includes having ticket data available on demand in digital format, along with inspectors being able to accept or reject material deliveries, and the ability to export your ticket data. And then there's also a number of safety considerations, obviously, like going paperless, social distancing, and limiting face-to-face interaction, et cetera. Now, what we don't want to do is totally take away the human interaction element entirely. We still want that to be an option for you because, especially in the scale house, we know how important that human interaction can be, all right? But at the same time, these modern paperless solutions can also just help you continue to build a good foundation for the future, just looking beyond this whole current situation. Now, many of you are already familiar with our web portal and how we have various user roles that you can assign to people both within and outside of your company. So I'd like to show you just a couple of the new roles that we've added for the e-ticketing side, all right? So to start, we've got a new inspector role, okay? And that's gonna allow DOT inspectors to view tickets and accept or reject loads. And then you have the new truck role, okay? And that opens up a number of features for your drivers, including mobile access to their own tickets. We also have the SMS notifications where the system will now text any new tickets to their phones. And then if they happen to be using proof of delivery, they can also mark their own loads as delivered when they drop off the material. So now that we have both of those new roles in place to facilitate our e-ticketing process, let's just look at a top-down flow chart of kind of how that process works in Fastway. So step one is pretty simple. The ticket is created, all right? And then after you've got the ticket, in step two, we're going to use the cloud, all right? And that ticket's going to become instantly available on all of our free mobile apps for anyone that you give the permissions to see it. All right, so the truck driver, customer, DOT inspector, etc. Now it's a PDF copy of the original ticket, and it's that same ticket that you would have otherwise printed at the scale house. Okay, and then step three, using our proof of delivery within that same app, the delivered load can now be approved or rejected by the customer or inspector. So zooming in on that first step, the original creation of the ticket. What about a situation where instead of generating that initial ticket in our system, you have a ticket from some source outside of Fastway? In that case, we actually have numerous options for importing your outside tickets. On the Fastway mobile ticketing app, for example, you can put the app in receiving mode and just bring your tickets in that way, either by scanning a physical ticket or in a paperless operation by entering all of that ticket information directly. And then outside tickets can also be captured using our in-cab trucker app set up in dispatching mode. And even beyond the mobile apps, your back office staff can even import tickets directly, into the web portal itself at any time. So we've got several methods for this. And then once you've captured that outside ticket, it's now available to you in your Fastway web portal. And it can be viewed or edited or billed, right along with your other tickets. Okay, so now that we've finished the ticketing process, let's just move on to the job site, all right? And kind of talk about how e-ticketing looks within the Fastway ecosystem. Now, we talked a little bit about how DOT regulations regarding e-ticketing can vary from state to state. Now, thankfully, most of those basics of the regulations are the same. And as I mentioned just a few slides ago, once a ticket's created, it becomes instantly available in a digital format for anyone with permissions to view. So for truck drivers, they can see their tickets and review them before they even pull off the scale. This digital ticket can actually serve as their bill of lading, for example. And then for customers and owners and DOT inspectors, they'll be able to see the new loads that are on their way to the job site. And then aside from e-ticketing, we do have a dispatching feature that actually allows you to track trucks in real time. We're not going to talk about that today just because of time, but I do want you to know that is available to you as well. So this PDF copy of the original ticket that you see there on the screen, it serves as a form of mobile documentation. So it comes with a variety of details, including your weighmaster signature, your driver's signature, an image of the truck at the time of ticketing, along with any of your product and job data, etc. Okay. And then you have the e-ticketing web portal, which offers just a much more robust set of tools to manage your tickets. So view, edit, reporting, billing, export to Excel. And this isn't just available to your back office. Your customers and your drivers and your DOTs and haulers, they can also be given a read-only version of the web portal to access their ticket information. And so that's it for me. With that, I think I'd like to go ahead and kind of hand it off to BJ, and he's gonna kind of go over the nuts and bolts of those e-ticketing features and give you a live demo of exactly how everything works. All right, BJ.
All right, thanks, Gene. I appreciate it, and I saw a lot of familiar names on the list there, so it's good to have everybody on here and with us today and learning a little bit more about the e-ticketing process. So to me, one of the neatest features that we offer with our package is that ability to receive materials with our proof of delivery module. And switching over to this next slide, I hope that you can see the picture that we have on the screen pretty good. I think it really shows you what all we can do when we receive materials. And we've also baked in some other neat features that go along with this that I'll show you in just a bit. When we talk about proof of delivery, within this app right here, we have the ability to accept or reject load. So if we're talking about, let's just use the DOT, for example, we're talking about a DOT job. We'll get out to the job site, we can accept or reject that load on this app. We also, when we accept or reject that load, we create a timestamp of when that material is received, as well as a geostamp of where that material is received. Okay, we can identify who received the material. So based off of what we'll show you in a minute, how we set up our inspectors, we'll put a name with that and we'll be able to know who it was that received the material. And then the total transit time. So we have our time that the ticket was printed and then the time the material was received, and you take those two numbers, we have the total transit time. Image capture, you can see the picture of the truck there. So we have the ability to capture an image to go along with this proof of delivery. You know, whether it be just taking a picture of what the truck was, if you wanted to take a picture of the material in the back of the truck, maybe you're rejecting a ticket and you want to take a picture of the reason that you're rejecting that ticket, you can use that feature as well. Signature capture goes along with the identity of who received the material, or in some cases, if you wanted a signature of a customer, you could do that there. And then recording additional notes and comments. So if you reject a load, we can open up a section for you to record those comments as to why we're rejecting that load. Okay, so we're going to show you a live demo now. And again, if you have any questions, I think I've seen a couple come in, but if you have any questions, pop those in there to that Q&A button and we'll answer those here in just a minute. So this is the web portal right here. So we got a lot of new features with this web portal. Gene has done a great job with the how-to videos, and you should, customers, you should have been emailed a list of those updates, and you need to really check out that email if you haven't already, because we've got a lot of additional features, you know, aside from the e-ticketing, we've got a lot of cool features out there, so check that out. And Gene also mentioned that we've set up new roles under the user administration for the inspector and trucker. Current customers, you may or may not be able to see that yet on your web portal. Also too, on the mobile app, if you use the mobile app, excuse me, those features should be rolling out here pretty quick though, so you may not be able to see them yet, but be looking for them here soon. So talking about those new roles, I'll just pop over to user administration real quick and just show you. We've got the truck role here. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. And we've got the inspector role that we can set up. So with the inspector role, what we've done is under the resources tab, we've created a new link right here to identify your inspectors. So we create the inspector. We come over here. So now what we can do, this is a pretty neat feature. We can choose the inspector, and then we can assign that inspector to a specific order. So if you want them to only be able to see ticketing information for this I-75 widening job, we can select that one and that one alone, and that's all that they can see. Okay, so we've got that down pat. Now let's come over here and create a ticket real quick. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but you can see our ticketing screen here. We've got our history right here of trucks that's been in. I'm just going to pop over this truck right here in, capture the weight, print the ticket, and we're good to go. Okay, so now we're going to switch over to what we see in the truck. So Gene mentioned the text messaging. So we've got this ability right here. So you can see I've done a lot of tickets, but you can see this most recent ticket right here. I just got the text message. If I were to click on that link right there, that would send me to a PDF copy of that ticket. And that way I wouldn't, if I didn't want to, I wouldn't have to use the mobile app. So now within the mobile app, a lot of you guys already use this as customers. You can see this screen, it's a familiar screen to you. Not much has changed on it. But the thing that we have changed within this mobile app is now we have this tickets button. So let's assume right now I'm logged in as a truck driver. Okay, so a truck driver would have this screen right here, and he could see tickets, and he could see all the tickets. So you can see my truck right there is Lusk 1, and the ticket number and all the pertinent information. He could click on this ticket, and there's the PDF copy of his ticket. Pretty clear, crisp image right there. Okay. So that's essentially the e-ticketing process for the truck drivers. Not a whole lot to it, but it's a pretty simple process. The ticket is created. He has this app. He finds the ticket he wants to see, clicks on that, and he's good to go. Now the inspector, if I log in as an inspector, the inspector can see the tickets associated with that order that we assigned him. Okay, but also too, the inspector would have access to this proof of delivery module right here. So when we click on it, we can see that we have 2 tickets that have not yet been received. So we're going to click on one ticket and we're going to receive this ticket. So there's that screen right there. I'm going to accept this load. I'm going to put my name on here. There, I'm going to take a picture of the truck. There's my truck with my marble. Okay, everything's good. I'm happy with it. I'm satisfied with it. I hit the little disc up there, the save button. And now I have received that load. So now if we want to reject a load, it's a pretty simple process, same steps. Okay, we'll put in a rejection reason. We'll just say wrong material. Here we go. Put my signature on there. I'm in a hurry, so it's sloppy. Take my picture again. And there we go. So I've rejected that load. Okay, pretty simple process, not much to it, pretty easy, right? So now that we've done this, how does this information flow back into the web portal? And Gene mentioned we can give people access to that and they can see different things. So what we'll do, we'll come back to our web portal right here. Let me get back to the home screen. So most of you have seen the tickets query right here, but we also have a POD or proof of delivery query. So when you click on that right there, you can look at all of the loads that have been received or not received and have some more detailed information about it. So we can see this truck right here. This is the one we just received and rejected. So you can see all the ticket information there. Pretty neat stuff. Looks good. We can see the time it was received, who it was received by, and then the total transit time. And we also have these little buttons right here so we can have a map. So that geostamp, we know where we were when we received the material. PDF copy of the ticket. The image that I took of my truck with the marble in it is right there. Signature right there next to it. And then if we rejected the load, we can see why. Wrong material. Okay? So that's e-ticketing and proof of delivery in a nutshell. It's a pretty simple process. And I know that we've covered a lot of information so far and given you a lot to digest. It's been a pretty good bit of information. But in the demo, we saw how data flows through Fastway. But with this slide, I want to show you how data can flow out of Fastway. Okay, so we take all of this information, this ticketing information, the e-ticketing, and we pull it in, we pump it through. So now what do we do with it from there? There's a lot of things that we can do. We mentioned your accounting integration, whether it be Viewpoint Products, QuickBooks, Sage, or Dynamics, or whatever it is that you have. We can integrate with that. We take all of that information, the pricing, and we create our invoices in Fastway. We push that information to your accounting software. Reporting and analytics. We have a pretty good reporting section. I know that the people that do that work really hard at making sure those reports are nice and easy to use. But if reports are not your thing, we have an analytics module. If graphs and charts and being able to manipulate things are more your speed, this analytics module is the thing for you. And it's a pretty cool feature too. It's a kind of a eye catcher, I guess you could say. Anything that we can do, we can export to Excel, any kind of ticket queries or ticket data, reports or anything, Excel is available too. And then third-party APIs with other vendors. So let's just say that you're using a different dispatching software and you want to push our tickets into that software. Hey, we're open to do that. We have no problems working with third parties and doing that, other vendors, and we have APIs that we can do that with. Okay. In the last slide here, so what we have found is the National Asphalt Pavement Association has put a document out there, and it's a pretty cool document. We've linked it on our website. It's www.fast-way.com/e-ticketing guidelines. The most current document they put out was, I think, up to date as of 4/15. And so on that document, what it does is it tells you all the states and their current e-ticketing guidelines. So you can go in there and find Alabama, find Mississippi, Colorado, whatever it is, and what they require. Okay. So that's all I got. I think now it's question and answer time. Gene, do you want to take over from here and let's see what we can do?
All right. Thank you so much, BJ. So we're going to go ahead and start looking through a couple of these questions. Right out the gate, one that I can answer pretty easily is, will these PowerPoint slides be available? Yes, they will. We will make those slides available to you. What I would like to do is send just kind of a follow-up email to everybody who attended and registered for the webinar, and I'll get those slides to you. But also, we are actually recording the webinar live, so we're going to have a YouTube video, or we'll upload it somewhere that's easy for you to access, and then we'll just kind of send it out to everybody, so you will have both. Thank you so much for asking. So let's move on to our second question real quick. I'll ask this and hand this over to BJ. BJ, is there a notification mode to kind of know when a ticket is created that notifies your mobile or your computer? So let's just talk a little bit about ticket notifications.
Yep, sure. We definitely can do that. We have a notifications tab module, whatever you want to call it. And I'm glad that he asked that question because that's something I totally breezed over and forgot to mention. We do have a notifications tab where you can set people to be emailed or notified when tickets are created. So we certainly can do that.
All right, great. Thank you so much, BJ. And we just got a couple of minutes here for these questions, so we're going to get in as many as we can. Just want to let you know. But if you don't get your question answered, we'll definitely follow up with you. We'd be happy to reach out to you. So this next question, I'm going to go ahead and take this one. So what happens if the inspector accidentally hits reject instead of accept the load? That's a really good question. Yeah, so we've got a system for that as well. Just like with most things on Fastway, we're going to have, you'll have the ability to go into the web portal and edit that if need be. So thank you so much for asking that one as well. Let's move on to our next question here. Oh, we've got quite a few questions. Wow. Okay, great. So the text message for the PDF ticket, does that also apply to third-party haulers? You want to take that one, BJ?
Sure, yeah, it does. We can text that ticket to pretty much anybody you want to send it to. So if that truck, once we register that truck, we put that pertinent information there for that truck driver. It can be one of your own trucks. It can be a third-party truck. It doesn't really matter.
All right, great. And let me kind of scroll through here. I keep losing my little question window. Okay, here we go. So we actually got one from Clay here. Hey, Clay, how you doing? So Clay mentioned that right now he can't view the PDF of tickets on his on his app. That's because these features are brand new, and we're actually going to be rolling these out here presently. So those are on the way shortly, Clay. So if you can't see it right now, and you are a current customer and you are using these Fastway capabilities, you will be able to see it any day now. So we've got these rolling out right now, which is part of why we wanted to go ahead and have the webinar and kind of walk you through those. And thank you so much again for asking. Let's see here. Do the drivers have to have the app to receive those SMS tickets, BJ?
No, they do not. All we have to do is just when we create the driver profile, we just put the phone number that you want those text messages to go to. And then as soon as those tickets are created, it sends those tickets to that number that you put in there.
All right, great. All right. And then someone asked also when they went to the Viewpoint conference that we were working on integrating with Command Alkin. You want to talk a little bit about our Command Alkin integration?
Sure, yeah. So we integrate with Command Alkin. So we have recently developed that integration to where we can share tickets with them. So that's the question says, is that true? Yes, that's definitely true. We've created that integration.
All right, and we're moving as fast as we can here. This is a little bit of a longer question. We do only have about 1 minute left, so we're going to try to get to as many of these as we can. Lisa asked, how do the truckers and inspectors log in to view the tickets and the data? Do we create a login for them? And for e-ticketing, how do they sync with us? So how do they sync with that web portal, BJ?
Sure, yep. So what you do is under user administration, if you're an admin, you have access to user administration, you go in and you create a role, a login for that person. You can make them a trucker, you can make them an inspector or anything like that. So anytime, if they're a truck driver, anytime a ticket is created for that truck driver, they can go to that free mobile app and download that and then use their login credentials that you created and they can view their tickets. So yes, you would need to create the login for them, give them that login, they download the app, and as soon as that ticket is printed, they all have access to it.
Okay, and we also had somebody ask if this was all just around, if this all centers around attended weighing only, or if it also works for unattended. Yes, it does also work for unattended. This can be all done, the tickets can be done via kiosk or via the truck or actually self-ticketing. So we can do that as well. And I think we may have time for just one more. Let's see. So the third-party trucks, we're getting a lot of questions about third-party trucks here. Oh, you're welcome, Lisa. Lisa chimed in with a thank you. Oh, you're so welcome. So third-party truckers, when the third-party trucks are getting the tickets, does it actually have to be their Fastway account, or is it tied to the truck? Is it tied to the truck or the hauler rather than the customer account? So I think Laura here is asking, if that data is actually tied to their hauler and truck account, or if it can be tied to a customer account, BJ.
Okay, let me read through this one more time to make sure I understand it. Third-party trucks are getting their tickets. Does it have to be their account or is it tied to the truck? So when they get their tickets, it's tied to their truck or hauler rather than the customer account. So they're getting the tickets. If they haul for 5 customers, they're getting the tickets for the tickets that they haul. It's not just tied to a customer, it's tied to their truck or their hauler. So yeah.
That's right. All right. Thank you so much for all the questions, you guys. There were quite a few questions we did not get to, so we'd love to follow up with you. And you can also reach out to us afterward. Unfortunately, it looks like we're just about out of time for the webinar. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of sign us off here. But thank you again to everybody for joining us. I had a really good time doing this webinar with BJ and with all of you. And if, later on, if you think of any additional questions that you might have, if you had a question that we didn't have time to answer, if you're interested in adding some of these new e-ticketing tools to your Fastway subscription, or if you just want to check us out, you can visit us at fast-way.com. We got a ton of information there. And if you'd like to contact us either through the website or at the phone number here on your screen, we would love to hear from you. So that's it for me. I just want to say, everybody, stay safe. Have a great rest of your week. And BJ, you want to go ahead and sign off as well?
You said it all. Appreciate everybody joining on. If you have any questions, call us or email us or whatever, and we'll be happy to answer those questions.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a great one.